and welcome to Stocks Down Under. My name is Stuart Roberts, and I'm one of the co-founders of our service. And joining me on the morning of Wednesday, the 24th of May, 2023 from Perth is Mr. Gabriel Chiappini, who is one of the directors, and in fact now managing director of Black Dragon Gold, ASX BDG. Gabriel, good morning. It's very early for you. It's about 8:30 in the morning, I think.
Good morning, Stuart. You know I'm an early starter, so I'm already 3 hours into my day. So thank you for entertaining me.
Yes. About a year ago, you stepped up to be managing director of Black Dragon Gold. I knew to pay attention at that point. You and I first met way back in 2003 when clinical cell culture started to get moving. You were, I think, the company secretary and a director, if I recall.
Yeah, I had various roles, and clinical cell culture was a great company. Still is a great company.
As a VP Medical, it's delivered on what you and your colleagues hoped it would achieve.
Yeah, it's gone to $1 billion plus market capitalization, and into the North American market, which we first tried to penetrate back in the late 2000s. Yeah, correct.
Right. So when I look down the roster of companies you've been involved in since, as either an advisor or in any other capacity. All right, stocks go up, stocks go down, and you and I deal with the venture end of the game. But let's talk about a few of them. BlackRock Mining. There's $1 billion worth of potential value about to break out in that company. And full disclosure, I'm a shareholder of that one. And Gabriel, I think you still got your stock too.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So they're just awaiting financing and the last of the offtake, and the Mahenga graphite project will be a thing. In which case it's going to be a heck of a lot higher, I suspect, than it is now.
It's just around the corner. You're right.
You chaired that company for the best part of a decade, if I recall.
Look, I was on the board. I was chairman for a little bit of that period. Richard Crooks is now chairman of BlackRock Mining. I certainly helped with the story and the growth phase and putting the assets together and identifying assets and developing and building the board. And we've got I still call it we because I've spent so much time there, but BlackRock has got, a fantastic CEO in place, and it's in really good hands. And as you've mentioned, Stuart, it's just two strokes of the pen. One, dealing with POSCO and an offtake, which is well underway, and then funding it. And graphite's a difficult commodity to fund because it's not mainstream, but I have no doubt that the team will get the money to develop it. The model is really good and robust, and I'm a true believer in BlackRock Mining like you are, and will continue to hold. So onwards and upwards.
So then there's Invictus Energy. Now we're all waiting for the really big money to roll there, but Scott McMillan has been proved more right than wrong in terms of the vast gas resources in southern Zimbabwe.
Yeah, look, Zimbabwe's, as we always say, when people throw the Zimbabwe hand grenade down the corridor when we try and promote the company, is it's a bit spicy for some people. So look, we wildcatted a well last year, and we've proven there's a working petroleum system in the Cabora Bassa, which a lot of people thought was unattainable. So we'll have another swing at another well, and this time we think we're going to have an appraisal well as opposed to an exploration well. We'll invest another $20 to $25 million on that well, and this time the chances of encountering a hydrocarbon at surface and getting it as a commercial discovery, we think the chances are a lot smaller, given that we spent and gathered a lot of data from the first well. So that's de-risked. That's on its way to becoming hopefully the next oil and gas producer in Southern Africa. And there's a dire need for power and power generation and the ability to produce either gas and or condensate. So that is a really good play. And obviously I'm happy to talk about Invictus, but I know we're here to talk about Black Dragon Gold. So I'd be delighted if you roll a few Black Dragon Gold questions my way.
Let's get on with Black Dragon Gold. Now the point is, Gabriel knows to pick companies with a long shelf life that generally move in the right direction. Black Dragon Gold can move a little bit faster than those two, I think. Flagship project, the Salave Gold Project in Asturias region of northern Spain, interests me a lot. You've got a sizable resource there. We've completed the environmental impact assessment, and hand on any holy book you care to name, that's been a pretty thorough document, right?
Yeah. Look, I mean, you've done your research, Stuart. So, look, we're patient, and Salave is so patient that the first time and the last time gold was poured in Salave was about 2,000 years ago, and the folks that were pouring the gold had Roman sandals on and had centurions at the front of their cavalry, and unfortunately that was the last time gold was dug up and poured out of Salave. So it's a story that's been 2,000 years in the making, and I hate to sort of put throwaway lines, but we think we are the next producers of gold in at Salave in Asturias in northern Spain. It's a mining jurisdiction. A lot of work's gone into it. Black Dragon Gold is the 9th owner of Salave Gold. It's had some illustrious owners, including Rio Tinto, Anglo America, Rio Nathia. The previous owners were a group called Asturias Gold, and that they acquired the asset out of the Lundin Group out of Canada.
Yes.
So the Canadians were the the most recent owners before the current incarnation, which is Black Dragon Gold. And you are correct. We're at the sort of final stages of getting the project permitted, which would unlock tremendous value. We've already got a mining license in place, so we don't need to then apply for a mining license that is traditional, in countries like Australia. So the last part of the jigsaw is the EIA, as you said, Stuart.
Right. So jumping beyond that, then we've got the makings of potential gold mine. Now, tier 1 jurisdiction with a long mining history, and a system that works in terms of major mining companies operating in the country. I think, for example, I'm just looking at my notes here. You've got Highfield, for example, or Infinity Mining, the original Rio Tinto. The mine is a Spanish mine that gave its name to a company we all know and love. So we're just waiting on that. Now, we don't know when that environmental approval is going to come back, but at that point, what's the next stage of the development of Salave?
Well, I just want to touch on just the timing, because I can't give you a date. You're right, but what we've been working with and working together with both our advisors in country and the bureaucrats and government is obviously trying to ensure that we've got a document that's bulletproof, and the EIA is a substantial document. What the time frame was to get the document lodged late in 2021 and then go through public consultative period, which expired, and we got back probably in excess of 1,500 queries, which we then responded to. So that we kicked that into play again in May of last year, and then the government had 4 to 5 months to respond, which would have taken us to September, October of 2022. We're now in May of 2023, and the reason I want to reflect on the date May 2023 is that there's an election both at regional level and local level. And unfortunately, what we've been told, and now it's fortunate because it is May, is that no decision will be made on the EIA until the elections have been held and cleared. So we're at that point now where I think we can start to be a bit more positive about the landscape in Asturias being less political, because Salave was a political football in the last elections. So we've maintained a bit of dignity and sort of remained a small target, not that we're troublemakers, but we just wanted to ensure that we played with a straight bat, both with the EIA and with the bureaucrats and the politicians over there, to ensure we stayed out of the news flow.
Absolutely.
So,
you want to be able to show the government, both local and at regional level, that you'll be a good corporate citizen, that environmental management will be first class, that there'll be jobs created in the Asturias region, which is, let's face it, not the most prosperous region of Spain, right?
100%. And there's a dearth of jobs for young people, and obviously we certainly don't want to be highlighting all of the negative issues in Asturias. But yeah, we'll be looking to employ 200 people directly on the mine and in the development, plus indirectly another 2,000 jobs. And there is a dearth of jobs for youth. The youth unemployment level in the region is quite high, and it is a depopulated region, unfortunately. So we do want to have a social license in the region, and we'll be looking to roll out some other CSR styled initiatives post the elections. So we're quietly confident that the tide is starting to turn in our favor, but we'll just wait. Like you said, I can't give you a time as to when the decision will be made, but we think we're quietly confident that we've done everything we've done to get the right pieces in place and to engage, respectfully with the politicians and bureaucrats.
So at the moment, if you look at Black Dragon Gold, there's no value at all virtually for that price. I need a magnifying glass to see the EV per resource ounce for Black Dragon. Now that could change because we do have a bit of excitement to keep the shareholders interested down here while we wait for the environmental process in Spain to get done. Talk to us about Padbury, that interesting new project you've just laid your hands on near Meekatharra up in the Murchison region.
Yeah, no, excellent point. The company, when I got appointed as CEO, one of my initial goals was to diversify the portfolio not away from Salave, but obviously every company has a timeline in place to ensure that there's new exploration phases that come through beyond your mature assets. So Salave is a mature asset. However, Padbury was one opportunity that came across my desk through some contacts I've met locally, and we bought the project from a syndicate of well-known explorers and gold mining chaps like Ian Murray, Darren Holden, and a few other chaps who have got a group called Odette.
Ian Murray, the man with a golden touch. So you've got a provenance project there.
And Darren Holden's got a great reputation as well. And there's a few other people behind the scenes who have asked not to be named. But look, we bought that really cheaply for the exact reason you've highlighted, which is to get into a early stage exploration play, something that the Aussie market, given we've got Aussie investors we're on the ASX, they want to see and touch and be in the same time zone, and we're a bit patriotic like that. So we bought the asset in July of last year. We did some geochem testing, which identified some really interesting anomalies from point of view that it matched. And I'm not sure if you've seen our presentation, you probably have, but we've had prospectors on site and they've collected an abundance of surface nuggets. And when it was sold to me, the guys use the term a field of nuggets, and it's not quite a field of nuggets, but there is an accumulation of nuggets at surface.
I'll take just the regular surface sampling. They were pretty high grade, even if they weren't nuggety. That was fine by me.
No, correct. So we've now, I'll leap forward. We've done a really good geochem analysis, which indicated to the geological sort of experts that there's a potential for an intrusion related gold system / structure at source below the surface, which could explain why there's nuggets at surface, and mostly some of that could be transported alluvially. But our geochem analysis tried to remove the nugget effect via the CSRIO ultrafine assay technology. So it really removes the nugget effect. And what we've discovered is that the pathfinders and vectors in and around that sampling program gave us a strong indication that there is a intrusion-related gold structure at below the surface. And we've got Top Drill at the moment just doing a first pass maiden resource. We're only doing a tiny program at the moment because this is a data gathering exercise. So we've got 10 holes being drilled this week. There's an announcement that went out yesterday. The early sort of feedback from site, and this is not market sensitive, but the early feedback from site is that the structures we're seeing sort of correlate with what we've told the market, that we think there's a good host source for gold via granite in gold expression. So, and we've told that to the market. So we'll wait for the assay results to come back. We'll wait for the final drill holes to be drilled, and there'll be an announcement hopefully sometime next week to provide everyone with an update.
What's interesting about that is that a lot of the fields in the Murchison were originally discovered with a nuggety kind of surface, but that was in the 19th century. Here we are in 2023, and history might be repeating itself in that regard.
Completely underexplored this area. So first time a drill bit's been put into this ground. There was a local prospector on site who's got his own, for want of a better word, a prospector's mining license. He's been stripping away, pits at surface, and he chases 10 grams a ton gold. Right. He's got a little sort of crush grind backyard wheelbarrow operation where he's told me he's produced 10 to 20,000 ounces in the last 4 years.
Okay. So
It's real. It's real. So we
um,
look, we we hope it's the next discovery, right? So, but fingers crossed, and we'll just wait for the results to come back, Stuart.
right. So a great suite of opportunities here. We've got the Spanish opportunity. I put my Spanish flag in there, so we'll wave a flag for Salave up in Asturias region, and that happens when that happens. And we've got some interesting and very exciting early stage work at Padbury from the projects that you picked up last year. So a lot to be interested in for Black Dragon Gold. Gabriel Chiappini, well done in terms of your stewardship of this particular resource.
No, thank you. Look, I just wanted to, I know we're running out of time. I just want to touch on what you said, which is you need a magnifying glass to work out, the ounces or the carry in our market cap. Look, our market cap's $8 million, and we can't shy away from that. So if I was an investor, the way I'd be looking at us is if it's bust, we go back to shell status, and you can put a number on what a ASX shell is worth with $1 million in the bank. You call it 3 to 4 million.
Right.
So your downside maybe 50%. Your upside is a re-rate with a Salave Gold project that's got 2 million ounces at 4 grams a ton, measured and indicated, ready to roll out. You asked me earlier on in this chat, what's the next phase for Salave Gold? It would be to look at a final feasibility study. We don't know if there's going to be partners out there that will want to buy into the project once it's de-risked. You never know, given gold's certainly in the news flow. If a bid comes, that's great, but we're not here to sell the project. We're here to develop the project. So that's next for us, Stuart, in Salave. And the upside from Padbury is exciting as well. So if I was to punt some stocks, this would be one. I know I'm CEO, but I'd love to punt my own stock, and I bought some shares last week together with the chairman.
Right, exactly. There's Paul Craton over in London, a well-known resources identity associated, I think, with Adriatic Metals. Was Paul Craton?
Paul was founder of Adriatic Metals. He's taken that company, and we've got a rockstar board. I hate using the term, but we've got a rockstar board. Paul's taken Adriatic from pre-discovery to production. The first sort of production at Rupice in Saria in Bosnia will happen next quarter. And Alberto Lavandera, our other director, is the CEO, managing director of Atalaya that runs Rio Tinto. Both companies are approaching 1 billion market cap in their respective markets.
Rio Tinto we were talking about before.
Correct.
So you don't attract this sort of talent onto a company, no matter what its size, unless they're onto something. So I'm encouraging people to go take a look at this one.
Absolutely.
Gabriel Chiappini, thanks for joining Stocks Down Under.
Stuart Roberts, it's always a pleasure, and I look forward to our next catch up. Thank you so much.